Come to land to face my fears. How far I've come in just a couple hundred million years. At some point I got a backbone. At some point I got a spine. At some point I developed a pair of lovely eyes. Now I look at you and I see the history. Now I look at you and I see the mystery. Now I look at you, you're a dream come true. Every time I look, you feel brand new. I fall, see you in the sunlight gleaming. I fall for this point in history. I fall, see you in such vibrant color. I evolved to see you.
streaming through a hole in time and space, ready to see what this collab is all about. It's Shmuppy! Long time no see, everyone. I'm back from my little vacation. It was a bit of a trial, had a little bit of trouble with the flying saucer, but I'm doing all right now. Okay, I wish you all a happy morning, evening time zone, whatever it may be on your side of the hole in time and space, and I want to say welcome to everyone who's been camping out, and I mean camping out like it's the launch of a new console in the 2000s type of camping out here on this stream. Y'all must be really excited. Yes, I revived from the climbing accident. Alright, let's see who's here in chat. Thank you for stopping by. We got Scrap, Void, Night of Despair Gaming stopped by and sent some well wishes but won't be with us. Mons 10,000 and good old Fish Dragon, friend of the stream. Alright, let's take a dive into this. Kaboom. So I don't really know anything about Arknights. I know that it takes place in Rhode Island. Go Rams. I guess. And I've heard conflicting things about whether this girl in the promotional material is a donkey or a bunny. Okay, I know for a fact she's some kind of hare. Some kind of Benoy, but you know, when I first heard about Arknights a long time ago, the jokes that she was a donkey reached me, and I thought that was I didn't really know what to make of that. I'm a little relieved after my research yesterday in assembling my thumbnail to have found that she is not a donkey, but that would have been super cool and unique. Alright, so Rebellion de las Masas, Pilgrimage of Compassion. This is so beautifully animated, everyone. I did not finish Spring Cultivation because I was away from my PC on vacation, but I did watch a video of it being completed, so I feel completely okay progressing. Ooh, blue seas. And we get shards of some kind? We want gloom and we want sloth. Okay. Ooh, we're locked in for certain. We've got gloom, we've got sloth. I think we can do it. I think this is a good team.
투입합니다.
I was exploring a lobotomy corporation branch when my consciousness sinks into the depths. The sense of cognition, itself a concept without form, floats into the shadow of an ever-widening river, swept up in its currents to nowhere. The river? Cognition? Is this something to do with the river below the city? When we ran into an abnormality. But So told us that Hong Yuan's Lobotomy Corp branch should be free of any abnormalities. The abnormality, which had appeared out of nowhere, was more otherworldly than any we've encountered so far in our journey, and deep blue. It was fathomlessly blue, and seemed to have a pull that endlessly drew us into itself. Just as I was about to recall this abnormality, a myriad of sceneries and a flood of incalculable thoughts crashed into my mind like wild waves before ebbing away from its shores. I was already lost and adrift somewhere within my own consciousness when I realized this. Oh? Just how long am I going to be adrift? The sensation of my own consciousness floating away is quite the unfamiliar one. We're getting transported to another world! I floated about in that strange state for a while. Okay. Oh! An unfamiliar voice seizes my aimlessly drifting consciousness. Are you Dante? That's me? The fog of my vision clears as the voice breaks through the waves, and a concerned expression comes into view. Yes, I am. It's her! Ah, what a relief. Gregor, I think Dante has come to... Greg? You're in touch with Greg? So who are... I was about to ask further questions to this stranger with a particularly long animal-like ears, but... my head... I felt the drowsiness coursing back with the terrifying memories of the dream, rendering me unable to speak. Oh? Dante is uniquely affected by whatever's going on here. I have to get a hold of myself. After an indeterminate amount of time had passed, I barely managed to wake myself from slumber to get a grasp of my surroundings, only to find myself surrounded by more unfamiliarities. Waking up on the shores of another world, huh? There was that stranger from earlier, sitting atop a rock and silently taking in the sights. A young girl who probably saved my life. Wait, so... were those animal ears after all? Okay, that's not important right now. You're gonna have to put that aside to progress the story, indeed. We gotta put that aside. We gotta put a pin in that for later. I have to prioritize figuring out just where in the world I ended up. So we're standing by the Iberian coastline. How are you feeling? Iberian coastline of the Iberian Peninsula? Like Spain, Portugal? I'm a little out of it, but I'm okay otherwise. Iberia, huh? Yes, we're in Iberia. Schmuppy, you're back. How was vacay, says Keynice. Hello, Keynice. Yeah, it was really great. I saw lots of cool stuff, spent some quality time with the mothership, and yeah, I even played Peak with my community members. I'll tell you more on that later. Well, given that we're next to an ocean, maybe I drifted all the way to U-Corp's Great Lake? Iberia was an unfamiliar name, but that was all I had to go on, given that the city was still full of more unknowns than knowns to me. I radioed your colleagues when you briefly woke up earlier. They'll be here any minute. I see. Stare. She's so cute. Poke, 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 poke. She's about my height. Poke, 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 poke. I want to rub her ears. Oh yeah, my sibling has pet bunnies, and I got to rub one of their ears. He was so soft and fluffy. He was so soft and fluffy. Wait, my colleagues? You must have run into the sinners then. The fog of my mind immediately cleared as soon as I realized that the sinners were all nowhere to be seen. Sinners? I think so. I ran into them earlier. They were looking all over the place for someone with a clock for their head. It was a pretty unique description, so I could tell right away that you were the person they were looking for. Her outfit is so cute. I love all the... Oh, it's Rhodes, not Rhode Island. Oh, sorry, New Englanders. I love the accents of blue. I love the teal accents. I love the little peak of pink in her eyes. It's very piercing. And... she's so cute. And look at the sort of... I guess this is a cable knit vest. It looks so cozy. Oh, you're going to a swimming pool? That's cool. Even if you have to go, thank you for stopping by, Keynice. So this clockhead does come in handy. Oh, Manager Bud. Dante. I'd woken up in an unfamiliar place to an unfamiliar face, and in the midst of this all-around sense of displacement, the faces that appeared before me were certainly a sight for sore eyes. Gregor! Hong Lu! Miss Rabbit here told me she found you unconscious by the ocean, and... Whew. I came as fast as I could, and oh boy.
I was worried that something bad might happen. Glad to see you're doing fine. Were you lost at sea? I don't know. Well, I do think I'm fine, though. I guess not having any way to drink water's finally come in handy. You should go get that checked out just in case. Wait, your head's waterproof, right? Gregor takes a moment to steady his breathing and then mutters a casual quip as he lights a cigarette. He's got to shake his head back and forth. We got to listen for the sloshing sound. Well, he doesn't seem that concerned. Maybe we're not actually in that much danger. So, what happened? Where are we? Do you remember entering that lobotomy corp branch that Jichun told us about? Ah, yeah. Yeah, we ran into a new abnormality and got sucked into it before we even had the chance to do anything. Man, I really thought that was it for us. Especially with you getting sucked in there too, Manager Bud. But when we came to, despite waking up with our faces down in some ditch, we were all fine without a scratch. Though there was quite the mess when we realized that you'd gone missing. We wanted to search for you immediately, but it took a while before we got a better bearing of where we were. So we're not at U-Corp's Great Lake? Some of us considered that to be a distinct possibility, but it's unlikely. Ishmael was really certain that we're not in District 21. She did concede that we might be in an unknown area within the Great Lake of the outskirts, but it doesn't seem likely either, given what the rabbit-eared ladies there said. The outskirts region of the Great Lake. I've met all kinds of people from all over Terra, but I've never met anyone who referred to the Iberian Sea that way. Terra? Iberia? As I have found myself puzzled by these unfamiliar terms, a very obvious question suddenly struck me. So speaking of which, who are you? Who are you? Huh? Really? You fellas haven't introduced yourselves to each other yet? It's just that... it's all just a lot to take in. It's understandable. You did just wake up from a pretty harrowing experience. She is... actually, would you like to do the honors yourself? I'm Amia, the leader of Rhodes Island. Please, just call me Amia. I'm Dante, manager at Limbus Company. I know I'm late, but thanks for saving my bacon. You know, with the stripes and everything, his jacket kind of looks like bacon. Dante looks like he's wearing a jacket made of bacon. Seems that Rodeo Island is a pretty big corporation, but... Gregor trails off ominously and scratches his head before continuing with some mild trepidation. This young lady with the rabbit ears doesn't know what the head is at all. As far as I know, there aren't any organizations in Terra with the same characteristics as the one Mr. Gregor explained. At least not with a name like the Head. Also, sorry, it's Rhodes Island, not Rodeo. Sorry, Gregor's kind of bad with names, famously. So what you're saying is that we're not in the city anymore? It'd be weird for any higher-ups of these huge corporations to know less about the Head than we do, let alone be completely clueless about it. Well, maybe we've tumbled into a previously undiscovered zone of the outskirts or the ruins. Probably. Or maybe we've really found ourselves in a completely different world. Secret 10th Circle of Hell bacon. The 10th Circle of Hell is where you're, put in a jacket of bacon and then fried in a giant frying pan. Their conjecture is correct. we're in way bigger troubles than I thought. That's right, and the ninth and inner circle of hell is really, really chilly, like the freezer, and it's really good to put cold bacon in a pan, so it's only natural. Hey, it works out. If their conjecture is correct, we're in way bigger trouble than I thought. This wasn't like the time we accidentally stranded ourselves in the outskirts via a door in the corridor. Amiya stared at me with some concern as though she felt my distress. I think I can draw a connection to something else that's happening here. Really? Yes. Recently, anomalous signs and events have been occurring in Iberia ever since a mysterious dimensional door appeared at sea. And it's been said that this dimensional door is connected to something very, very distant. Something that we've never observed before. So... seems reasonable to theorize that the dimensional door is how we managed to cross over to this world. And it's out at sea. That would explain why you drifted. Also, once again on our bacon jacket theory, fat is buoyant. Would a giant bacon trench coat, if sufficiently thick, work as a flotation device or just drag you down? I wonder. I really would have appreciated Faust's input. Where'd all the other sinners go anyway? A bit late on the uptake to be gawking around for the other sinners now, don't you think? They're at a settlement near here, where they're all helping out with various odds and ends of the village. Village? How cute! While taking turns searching for Dante, of course. You know, I never thought about how difficult it would be to search for someone when we're like fish out of water, too. Man, barely got even a wink of sleep since yesterday. Woke up on the Barnacle Rocks, did ya? Everyone's gotta be really tired then. So it's just you two out here for now. No, Ishmael and Nisong are the other half of the search party, and we just happen to be the last group in the rotation. They must be searching somewhere else to find you, Manager Bud. We got the news early thanks to Amiya's comms gear, but the other team didn't. Yeah, we got lucky. The other team, well... we don't have any way to get in touch with them, so they'll probably continue their search until the shift is done. Oh, are we talking about that village you mentioned earlier? Uh-huh. Right, you've not been there yet, huh? Guess it's a bit off the beaten path. Well, we're going to have to rendezvous with the other sinners anyway, so let's head to the village for now. Something seemed to pique Amiya's interest as she fell into a contemplative silence, before carefully speaking up. I would like to accompany you there. Sure, I don't see why not. You helped us find Manager Bud, and... more importantly, you seem to know a lot more about this place than we do. A lot more. Like, I'm surprised there's a village you've not seen on an island. I don't actually know Iberia that well either, but I should be able to be of some help. They've closed their borders and have practically locked out any foreign influences from affecting them, but I did get a briefing before this mission. Closed borders, huh? And how do you get in, Miss Amiya? We followed Dr. Kaltzit's Kaltzit? Am I saying that right? Directions and illegally crossed the country border. Illegally? Oh? Does that mean you crossed the border without obtaining any permission, Amiya? We had to cross the border somehow in order to investigate how and why the dimensional door came to be. Calcite? It's pronounced like calcite? Like the mineral? Fascinating. I have a sample of calcite that's, like, filling inside a fossilized shell. It's really tiny, but it's really cool looking. Huh. Is it normal for pharmaceutical companies to be doing that? Large pharmaceutical companies often dispatch their agents for missions. Yes.
Rhodes Island is, in its essence, a pharmaceutical company researching treatments for people infected with oropathy.
Oropathy?
But we also work to prevent and assist in the management of various situations that can occur in high-risk areas.
High-risk areas, huh? Wait, what about your companions? I doubt you came all the way here on your own. What about your companions?
That's, we were forced to split up due to certain forces that were in pursuit. Wait, stop! Amia's ears twitched as she came to a stop and began scanning the surrounding area.
Calcite. Calcite? Calcite? Calcite. Then.
There! As we stood about confused, Amia, noticing something, pointed toward the seashore hidden behind large and cragged rock formations.
Ooh, what are we supposed to... Huh?
There, we saw someone wielding a lengthy greatsword.
Oh, who are you?
Very cute. Blues and pinks. Interesting cutout in the pants. Bickering with the two familiar faces. Oh, are you on our side? Again, move. You're in the way.
You needn't worry as you do. We have had ample experience battling monsters who are much like them.
Listen, I'm not worried. It's...
Come on, better to have 3 fighters than 1, right?
Besides, you're the first person we ran into out here, so we've got a lot of questions to ask. Isong! Ishmael!
Dante, you are unharmed. And here I was getting ready for a 3 days long search.
What a relief. We were all really worried that we might never be able to find you. We managed to find them thanks to help from Miss Amia here.
Amia? Are you two acquainted?
Not a good time for a reunion. It can wait until after we take out the sea monsters. What's your history, mysterious lady? Scotty. Scotty? Are those organisms the Seaborns Dr. Kaltzit mentioned? They're sea terrors, to be specific, the less sophisticated ones among them. And they're probably here for me. Sea terrors. I hear the sticky noise of something viscous slithering against the rocks. Goop! Ichor! When I turn to face the origin of the unsettling noise, I smell the heavy, wet scent of brine. Oh! At the end of my gaze awaits strange monsters. Unlike distortions, unlike abnormalities, unlike anything I'd ever seen, they have a crystalline core. They look like some kind of tentacly sea brittle. What are they called? Crinoids? It's as though the sea itself is encroaching on the land. I was almost certain we weren't at the Great Lake, but I'm not so sure anymore. Her experiences with the thick scent of brine at the Great Lake must have put her in a wary mood. They say that scent is the most powerful sense for driving you into a flashback. Ishmael seemed to be a lot more apprehensive about these monsters than anyone else. Do you think those creatures could be whales or mermaids? I don't know. The Great Lake and the outskirts are full of unexplored mysteries, after all. Dante, what do your senses say? It's unclear. I'd say the closest comparison I could make is with the whales, but even that's not conclusive. Huh. More enemies on the horizon. We should prepare for battle.
Doesn't seem like we can talk things out with them, though. So, let's take them out! Into battle we go! Ooh, I need a sip of drink.
敵が来ます。皆さん、戦闘の準備を。
皆さん、戦闘の準備を。
Oh my gosh, cute! Take him out quick, take him out hard. Don't let him hover around 33% HP because they'll get unbreakable coins. What's your passive? Nether Sea Brand Utopia? And on top of Nether Sea Brand, what does that mean? Sinners on top of Nether Sea Brand? Is that going to be a field effect? In Clash Power +2. Oh, double the amount of nervous impairment. Okay, let's do our best. Okay, knowledge. They don't clash too hard. This is a chain battle, so we might be forced to face some of them at 33% HP at one point. Alright, come on, my babies. Fly, my pretties. Ooh, we're getting nervous impairment.
敵が来ます。皆さん、戦闘の準備を。
We've got. Sloth. We're getting slothful. Feeling like being slothful Jeremiahs. Long finish. Sweet.
敵に対して大きな打撃を与えました。
Okay. Honglu. So, they look so pretty even when they're recoiling. It's kind of elegant.
優れた式ですね。囚人の皆さんの状態を確認する必要がありそうです。管理人。
At 30 stack, max stack 30. Okay, we can handle that up to 10 more times. Let us see. Spend knowledge. Inflict sinking. We don't need to inflict sinking right now. Let's just go slam down. Ready to crush. There we go. We're quite a prideful group. So this is a good time to talk about Peak with my community. I played Peak with my community members. There was an open invitation to everyone in the Discord. Inflict sinking. You're gonna build sinking. What's the 3 coin? Honestly, just doing that. Do you have any problem? You're completely unopposed. Okay. We played Peak, a few of us. Fish Dragon tried to join us, but had some connectivity issues, had some computer issues, and wasn't able to join for the actual trip. So it was funny. Fish Dragon was there in the airport, and then wasn't there on the plane for some reason. So it's almost like those stories of when someone takes a exchange for a flight or something, or misses it, and it saves their lives because that plane goes down. By the way, I recently learned that standby boarding on airplanes is a thing, and was very frustrated and stressed that you can be kept on a list at the back. Punch, punch, punch. Good. And potentially not even be seated on the plane. Like, I did not want to...
リンバスカンパニーの皆さん、この勢いに乗って勝ちに行きましょう。
To victory! And a kill. Very good. Oh, that was cool. Yeah, I almost didn't make a flight because of that, but somebody volunteered to take another flight, so I ended up getting the seat. And I don't know what... I mean, I know that if you're a member of the airline's service, you might be able to get a whole bunch of points to go somewhere else for it, or a whole bunch of, like, monetary credit for the inconvenience, but, like, I'm not a member. I don't think I need to join. I don't fly that much in my life. Wait, fly? You heard nothing. I piloted my UFO. You heard nothing. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. All remaining enemies have all remaining enemies have retreated to the sea. Good work, everyone. Ooh. Didn't think I'd have to deal with anything remotely like this outside the Great Lake. You can say that again. It would have taken us the whole day if that Scotty character didn't occupy the other half while Miss Rabbit helped us from a distance. As we were catching our breath after the battle, I heard a brief hum. When I turned to look at its source, I saw Scotty glaring at me with palpable alarm. Strange people who transform. And a head of clock? I guess they're both technically true. While it's nothing more than a theory at this point, I think they have a lot to do with the dimensional door we're supposed to be investigating. Nice to meet you, I guess. I only hear a ticking clock. Oh, that's because only us sinners can hear Dante's voice. Huh? What's up? No, I'm just wondering how Miss Amiya can seemingly understand Dante. Yeah, what's going on here? Huh? Yeah, it completely flew over my head that I didn't even question how weird this is. Their voice sounds like a ticking clock to me too, but I don't know, it's almost like I can sense what they're trying to say, what kind of emotion they're trying to convey. Her explanation reminded me of the Blue Boy in Sinclair's past, but I didn't quite feel the uncanny sensation from Amiya that I felt from them. So she can read me kind of like how Virgilius can, I guess? Well, I don't think it's a bad thing. That's true. It's been a bit of a hassle to always need Faust or Hong Lu to translate for you, Dante. I'd like to know exactly how she can understand Dante, but I don't think we've got the luxury of time to sit down and figure this out. Man, I am clacking my teeth and tripping over my tongue. It's been so long since I've streamed and talked for this long. So, are we heading back? Sounds like a plan. It's not like we know anywhere else to go, right? Oh, and Miss Rabbit here will be tagging along too. She said she'd help us find our way back. I'm glad to be working with you too also, Miss Ishmael, Mr. Honglu. Took the words right out of my mouth. You've already helped us plenty, and you clearly know a lot more about this place than we do. The journey is long. Perhaps embarking on it ere the sun's fall would be wise. How long's the journey? No idea. It's not like we have a clock with us. In a sense you do, but he doesn't tell time, right? I do know that it's not very far, though. We just need to walk along the coastline for a bit. Stare. Scotty quietly points in my direction. Oh, Dante can't tell us the time because they're not on time. Then why the clock head? I didn't exactly choose to get myself a clock-shaped head. I looked away from Scotty's inquisitive eyes, which were quite solidly fixed on my head. The coasts of Iberia are hardly good places for people to live. Those things can go anywhere in this world, but they thrive at places that meet the ocean. So how did people manage to build a village at a place like this? The monsters are called Seaborns, or Sea Terrors, yes? While it is true that they posed certain difficulties, they were hardly the kind of monsters with the strength to bring scourge and drive out the local populace. Don't judge them based on that brief skirmish. She's just telling us to be on our guard, right?
Scotty can be a bit curt, but she's not a bad person.
I don't think she said anything wrong. Nothing rules out the existence of stronger variants of these creatures being out there. Scotty's concern only served to fan my curiosity, but something about her expression communicated that I probably shouldn't pry, so I quietly quickened my pace as we walked to the village. Okay, I'm excited to see
이
this
정도면
village.
보수도 짭짤하겠는데?
We
다들
got
땅보기 외식이나 할까요?
shards from inside of the thingies. Village of the Dead Lighthouse. Oop, didn't mean to back out like that. I meant to just click off and look at the map. Look at this. It does look like a Spanish or Portuguese little village, and we've got the teasing bits of some kind of boat. Let's go. This hardly looks like a village. It's more like the ruins of one, isn't it? Ooh, funky, cool music. It doesn't seem like they've done any proper upkeep to the place. Not in a while, at least. They're really here, living together. The strange buildings tell the stories of former prosperity from a bygone era. Our steps leave no footprints on the wet, muddy ground. On it, I see a rotting sign marked with the name Faro Muerto. Something death? Everywhere I look in this village, I see evidence of long, silent abandonment. We don't see these kinds of abandoned-looking ruins often in the city, either. Well, yeah, there's always someone or something out there waiting to capitalize on that free real estate. It's free real estate! He said it! He said it! Be it a syndicate or a corporation, and fix it up. Better than this, at least. Yeah, no land goes unused in the city. So, where are the sinners? Ah, there's a clearing down there where... We were entrapped betwixt a twain of great ships, narrowing winds against our sail. Oh. And that is when young Ishmael boomed, her command most resonant. Say no more. Oh man, she's already regaling the people with tales of our adventures. I didn't even have to try searching for them. That unmistakably sonorous and familiar voice echoing triumphantly between the empty buildings. That's Don Quixote's voice when she's sharing her adventurous tales. There she was, standing atop a low podium like an actor on stage, regaling a group of people in rags with tales of our adventures like a traveling thespian. Answers, ye dogs! Oarsmen! 'Tis the moment I, Ishmael, the first mate of vessel Mephistopheles, shall navigate. Oh! Stop! Hold on, just what do you think you're doing? Ishmael, unhand my mouth, for I was just about to regale them with the most fantastic tale of adventures of the great Manager Esquire. Verily, thou hast returned with Manager Esquire safely in tow. What? They found Clockhead? These people really do look ragged and tired. Oh my goodness. So tired looking. A burning clock for a head? When I was a child, I heard a story about a legendary Sarkaz with a flaming head. What's a Sarkaz? Why would someone like that visit our humble village? While their exterior may carry elements that inspire fear in some, there is no cause for alarm. Yeah, they might look like that, but they're Dante, our manager, and the rest are... sorry, who are you two? They're two very nice people who helped us find Dante. This is Miss Amia, leader of Rhodes Island. And this is Miss Scotty, their operator. They'll be coming along with us for a little while. With us?
We believe that the dimensional door, which we at Rhodes Island are investigating, has something to do with why you suddenly woke up here in Iberia. As Amia was bringing the sinners up to speed, the villagers, who were staring at us curiously, approached us. Did our conversation manage to convince them that we're not a threat? I sure hope so. You were friends of our saviors. Saviors? Verily, 'tis quite the grand title, yet that is indeed the word by which we are addressed.
To be more precise, by saviors, they were referring only to Faust and Otis. Faust gave me a light nod when we made eye contact, but I could tell that her lips were drawing a very, very subtle smiling arc. So I'm guessing something did happen. They were quite mistrustful upon our initial arrival. Elfman! Elfman with elf ears! What business do outsiders have here? Elfman? You've got Elfman here? Mr. Elfman? Well, what if they're from the Inquisition? The Spanish Inquisition? I certainly did not expect that. No one does. Oh no, what do we do? After all we went through to get here. Calm yourselves, everyone. None of them are carrying what appears to be their scriptures or lamps. Let's first try to see who they are. Man, I don't think they're gonna trust us anytime soon. They're all old curmudgeons. Let's STNC and then PTSD. You can't do that, Ryoshu. We can't pillage their storage depots. It looks like they already have it hard enough as it is. I don't think STNC is a good way to get started either.
Should we just find help elsewhere? Just look at how thin their arms are. I don't think they're in any shape to help us out. Oh yeah, Rhodia! I finished reading Crime and Punishment over my vacation, and boy, do I have a lot of opinions. It was a crazy ride, start to finish, and I'm gonna have to read that book again. I'm gonna probably read a different, more highly annotated translation of it, because I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I think I will cut out some time, maybe, I don't know if make a video or make a short. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I am gonna explain my theories for Rhodia's future in Limbus Company, based on, my understanding of the original text and where, we might have to go in her story. Because, like in the book, she is at a sort of meandering, stagnant phase of slow pressure and realization. And something's gonna have to break at some point. I don't think they're in any shape to help us out. Perhaps we could inquire as to our whereabouts ere we are to decide our lodging. While the landscape is certainly reminiscent of U-Corp's. But I don't recall seeing or learning about any place that looks like this, though I can't say I've been to every corner of U-Corp. I ask again, what business do outsiders have here? Their fingers are tightening around the grips of their weapons. Prolonged silence will most likely turn this into a hostile encounter. We can't have that. Hi, we're from Limbus Company. We're Of justice! Oh, Dawn.
Yeah, that. Fixes of Hoy! Don't you know when to keep it down? Fixers? That over there. It's a ship blueprint, isn't it? Are you looking to repair a vessel by any chance? All these construction materials seem to suggest so. Chief! This does not concern you. It's not something a mere outsider can understand. Curious. I've never seen an energy source like this before. Have you run the tests to rule out any stability issues? It seems to power the heat exchanger via some method comparable to the utilization of fusion energy. Have you any thoughts on this, Miss Faust? The general design structure is somewhat old-fashioned, but there certainly are inspired parts to this design, particularly with the usage of the core energy source. While its stability would need to be further studied, this technology seems to be incredibly energy efficient. Huh? You identified all that merely by glancing at this blueprint? You must be the village chief, then? If so, I have a proposition for you. In return for assisting in their ship repair, we were promised a ride on their vessel. Miss Faust has theorized that perhaps, by going out to sea, we may be able to find a way to return to whence we came. Does that mean we can find a way back somewhere out there in the sea? Nothing is certain yet, Dante. At this moment, we are working based on a hunch. A hunch. Sensing the implicit omen in her choice of words, I slowly turned around to look at Faust, who nodded solemnly in response. If we're really in a different world, even her Gesellschaft has to be. No issues were encountered in the repair process. Faust smiles faintly. Faust smiles faintly. Say that 5 times fast. Faust smiles faintly. 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 As she looks around, then she pulls me in by the hems. She whispers in a low voice. My connection to Gesellschaft is currently operating at a suboptimal level, Dante. So it's still connected at least? Indeed, it is. However, even exchanges of simple information are taking up to dozens of hours by current calculation. Time dilation. Is this a warp train situation? Because we're in a different dimension? The cause should be identical. We have been connected to an unidentified, unpredictable dimension. However, Faust is aware that the pathway to our original dimension is yet to close this time, unlike the situation back aboard the warp train. So, to get back where we came from... Indeed, traveling through the pathway is the most feasible solution. And from that, you came up with the whole plan to repair the ship and sail out to the sea? Yes, well, I am also a genius, after all. Lamia conjectured that we probably came through a dimensional door of sorts. Looks like that dimensional door might be what Faust is looking for. With high likelihood, yes. At least there's a way back. I find myself calming down a little. Oh, speaking of which, when do you think you can wrap up the repair job? As fortune should have it, a majority of the most time-consuming parts of the repair have already been completed by the locals. It shouldn't take us more than a day or two to get its core parts shipshape again, Executive Manager. We'll be staying here a few more days then. How did you manage last night? Well, like I said earlier, we've been keeping ourselves busy looking for you this whole time. We took turns helping with the repairs and resting, but I doubt any of us got a proper night's rest. Still, we weren't cold thanks to the villagers who kept the fire going for us all night. Not to mention how they helped us a ton with that local map they drew us. Oh, also, Chief handed us this earlier. What's it for? Oh, looks like a sack to collect water. Give it here. I know how to get that installed. Must be to repay Miss Faust and Miss Otis's efforts at repairing their ship, yet the service they provide us is certainly quite generous, even when taking the transactional nature into account. They're really giving us the best treatment they can, huh? They really want to be saved. Saved from what? Why did they flee here? As for food, we managed to fill ourselves with some cookies and bread Rhodia keeps in her pockets. Didn't want to eat into their food supply when they're already pretty tight, you know? Aw. always be snacking, it'll save your life. She carries enough cookies and bread for 12 people? They did offer us some nosh, those dried fish things, but we refused. I ain't about taking food from the needy. No need to concern yourselves so much with our hospitality. You've done more than enough to earn your keep. I turned around to look at the source of that low, rumbling voice, and saw an old man in an outfit that seemed to distinguish itself amongst the other villagers. There you are, Chief. Is there a place for us to stay the night? We do have places to shelter from the misty humidity, at the very least. There is an empty building there, so feel free to occupy it for the night. Ooh, are you sure? I mean, I don't mind sleeping in the streets myself. Hey, speak for yourself. I've been looking forward to sleeping with a roof over my head since, like, yesterday. You'll catch cold sleeping in the elements in this environment. Which is fine by me for the rest of you, but we cannot afford to have the executive manager or our honored guests suffer that fate.
Honored guests?
I heard what happened from the four who left in search of the executive manager. First, I would like to begin by imparting my infinite gratitude to you for finding and rescuing the executive manager. I hear that you are a leader at a pharmaceutical company. This acquaintance shall certainly come in handy, in case our stay becomes significantly prolonged. Always conniving, always scheming, Otis. I'm just surprised by your boldness to say something so materialistic when they're standing right there. Can I stay in your village too, Chief? The village chief took a brief glance at the hems by her right wrist, then nodded. Welcome to Faro Muerto. You're welcome to stay for as long as you want. Please, do let me know if you find yourselves without food. Our food supply may be tight indeed, but we have enough to share with those who helped repair the vessel.
Ooh, you better not go back on your word later. I wonder what kind of local delicacies await. Dried fish like they were eating earlier, maybe?
Hey, Chief. What is it?
Just how are you surviving out here? By the sea.
Perhaps the question of how we are surviving may be somewhat misdirected. For we are only pursuing every possible avenue because we must survive. The chief responds to Scotty's perceived hostility with a hearty smile. After leaving some firewood for the night, he left. I'm going. Can't learn much more from here. Huh? You're going somewhere at this hour? Scotty, does this have something to do with the coast? I remember what you said before we got to the village. Something about how coasts are hardly good places to live in. Dante wants to know if this has something to do with the coast? Do you understand the Aegir language? Aegir? Aegir language? Aegir? Aegir. Aegir? Dante, Scotty just spoke in Aegirian. I couldn't understand a word of Scotty in the chief's conversation because I don't speak Aegirian. It may only be that there were enough lexical similarity between one of the city's languages and the language Scotty spoke in for them to comprehend the meaning. Weird coincidence. Anyway, I have some things to look into. Something you're all too slow to see. Aegir? You still have to tell us about it later. Please remember you're not on a solo mission, Scotty. This is a team effort from Rhodes Island. Will do. Scotty nodded lightly before leaping off into the night, out of our sights. I'm kinda worried. She's not the best with people, but she's also pretty thoughtful. She'll be okay.
Should we head inside? The sun's starting to set already. Oh yeah, we could probably just pick an unlit building and stay the night there, right? Trying our best to ignore the mood that was starting to turn awkward, we made our way into a nearby unoccupied building. How were the pulls? I haven't pulled yet. My gosh, should I pull? Okay. You know, everyone, usually I take a break at the 1 hour mark. I'm gonna have to take a quick break to go grab more water, but before we do that, how about I use up all of my extraction tickets? The AE letter's like saying bat or cat. Is it now? I thought it was like I or A. Well, when you're a little deep in the story, I don't know. I really want to see if I can get this Greg. Maybe luck will improve there? Maybe. How about oh, that's so cool. Interesting. How about I have 21 single extractions and 1 deca extraction. Let's do just 5 of these before I go on break. Limbus Company, I love you. Mephistopheles, I love you. Boop. Just 5 little pulls. Just 5 little pulls. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, go. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go. Give me the dive. Give me the dive. What the fuck am I saying? Single pulls, single pulls, single pulls. I'm torturing you all with single pulls. Give me. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go. Nothing! Absolutely nothing! That's okay.
옛날부터 3시간 이상의
I have to
수면을
stop by the
취하면
little alien's
저절로
room
눈이
right
떠지곤
now.
했어요.
And when we get to the real
자연스러운
end of the
현상인 줄
stream,
알았는데
you know, this is just a
모든
break,
분들이
this is
그렇진
just a break.
않더군요.
When we get to the end of the stream, we'll use the rest of my tickets. So, I will be right back. Why the pain? I do it to make you all suffer. I do have a little bit of a sadistic streak. You all should see me play Among Us sometime. Okay, I will. BRB!
have returned!
Hi. Ready to continue this story, everyone? first in yapping. I yap too much. You've really been grinding out the yapping point, Scrap. And hello, Clockface. Welcome to the chat. Oh, man. It's time to get moving. Man, my life has been really weird. Have any of you ever had a friend, like, go to jail and come out it like, a changed person and, like, you feel like we're living in completely different worlds now? That's kind of something I'm dealing with right now. Don't know if you've ever experienced that. Aya, hello! Welcome to the chat! I don't know, it's weird feeling like we've grown onto such different paths. I really worry about my friend. I really, really worry about my friend. But they're out now, and they have an opportunity to fix things. So, I don't know where this is going. We walked past a few narrow buildings and remnants of narrow buildings. And remnants of narrow buildings before we came across a hall large enough to house all 15 or so of us. Where's the gambling? Gambling will be at the end! Okay, now we're ready. With the curtains on the window removed, the smoke has an exit. Is this collar thing she's wearing? This choker necklace gemmy? Is that gemmy blue? Is that something shiny? Well, I thought we were doomed to shudder ourselves to sleep with the soaking wet firewood and all. I had no idea that'd work. We just have to get a small fire going underneath it until the wood dries up and catches fire. The downside being all the smoke. I know it's early, but how are you enjoying this event? It's fascinating. It is making me curious about the world of Arknights. It obviously appears to be like, a lot like our world. Perhaps even might be your world, humans? I don't share your world. I live on Pupuria. It's clear that she has some field experience, unlike some fools I know. Yeah, the rest of you are way too accustomed to urban adventuring. I shan't sit here and let her carry the burden of labor alone. Bequeath upon me thine ingredients, young Rodion, or I shall conjure thee a pot of special fixer soup. You're making soup with cookies and jelly? No! 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 You're not getting anywhere near the kitchen again, not after what you cooked up last time! While I must admit to a certain level of interest, as many of our fellows' viscera are oft racked with intense agony upon ingesting dishes of your making, perhaps it would be wiser that we will save the occasion for a safer environment. Right! Don't you remember? We agreed to leave cooking to Mur or Odie if we are ever in a situation like this, remember? Did we? See, I think it's become sort of an unspoken rule after everything that happened. Remember, back during last year's cooking contest at K-Corp, they were the only two people who managed to get remotely positive reviews. Oh, does that mean we'll get to try Otis's cooking once again? Denied. We still have plenty of high-calorie foods like cookies and jellies here. I find no reason to do something so inefficient. I'm glad to see that everyone's still energetic, given the circumstances. It can't be easy to suddenly wake up in an unfamiliar environment. Well, we're all quite used to getting thrown into unfamiliar places. The strangest places. Speaking of which, did you manage to reach your colleagues, Amia? Yeah, Otis literally is saying fill your bellies with cookie and jelly. Well, don't fill your bellies, but probably take only the necessary nutrients you need from the cookies and jelly and let your stomach grumble. She shook her head, concerned. They might have lost their comms devices. Or maybe they ran into some other trouble. Could they be in danger? I don't know, but I'm sure they're okay. The doctor, Calcit, they're both more than capable enough to look after themselves.
Long have this curiosity lingered within me. Thus, allow me to inquire. Corporations are, by their nature, organizations in pursuit of profit. Yet the activities of your corporation resemble those of charity organizations as opposed to a pharmaceutical company. Is there aught that might explicate this blurred distinction? I wanted to know too. How come a pharmaceutical company like Rhodes Island is helping people? Something about what Hong Lu said brings back unpleasant memories. The horrible experiments seen through the cascade of flowing tears in the face of suffering, the embodiment of greed that left a terrible wound in Hong Lu's fathoms. Oh my gosh, nothing there. Nope, 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 not opening the door, not opening the door to that, not opening the door to that. Nope, 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 nothing there, nothing there. The pharmaceutical companies I've seen in my journey were corporations that, despite possessing the capacity to heal, chose to obsess over the profit it can provide. There are many in Terra who are suffering from a disease. The disease crystallizes you. It spreads deeper and deeper into the infected's internal organs, eventually culminating in their death. It's called oropathy. Amiya showed me the back of her right hand, dotted by what appeared to be obsidian crystallizations. Oh my! Its appearance reminded me of the bio-treatments from the back streets. But there was something more to it. Something more restless, more sinister. It's a terrible, painful disease, but there haven't been any recorded cases of full recovery. But there's an even worse problem. Pray tell, what could possibly be worse than an incurable, deadly disease? While it varies region by region, discrimination against the infected is widespread across Terra. Those who suffer from it must face unfair treatment. Isang began with a dark expression. Some are quarantined in places with terrible, inhumane conditions. And there have been massacres, too. I don't mean to be callous, but is this oropathy highly contagious? No, there have not been any recorded cases of infection by contact, as long as the subjects are alive. But when the infected dies, the crystal grows on their body decay and turns to dust, scattering, which is what spreads the plague. Then, barring environments like active battlefields where casualties are to be expected, staying within close proximity of the infected in daily life seems to pose hardly any risk. Interesting way that it spreads. How strange. So what's the problem then? They're already past the point of caring about what the problem is. Once people start feeling iffy, all logic goes out the window. Then Rhodes Island's goal has to be... Yes, it is important to develop a cure for oropathy, but I think what really matters is that we change the circumstances for the better for the infected. That's not going to be an easy endeavor, though that is what gives your effort more meaning. I hope you can achieve that goal, Amiya. I really do. But truth! This city, this world, we both live in worlds full of surprises, don't we? What kind of world did you come from? This city? What kind of place is the city anyway? The kind of place with too many pointless rules. The kind of place where the moment you think, isn't this too much? You see something even worse. Try as I might, I couldn't think of a single positive thing about the city. The sinners seemed to be in agreement, as most of what came after was quite scathing. The kind of place where good deeds rarely ever go unpunished. Where sympathy's a good attitude to have if you like getting stabbed in the back. Nothing good ever works out there. It's a shithole. It's an irrational place full of absurdities. Absurdity is an omnipresence. Therefore, it is not a subject by which one should be aggrieved.
We can at least browse about them, though. I mean, it's the only thing we can do.
It would be more correct to experience more and acclimatize oneself to it instead of complaining. "Ooh, get over it," says Merceau. You did say something like that last time. Just as the mood was starting to turn rather sour, Don Quixote's shout shattered through the awkwardness.
Verily, nary a day goeth by untarnished by villains and their fell deeds. Yet worry thee not, for where evil riseth, so doth fixers of justice too.
Don Quixote jumped from her seat and
Passionately shook her fist, which was followed by a heavy crack and the sound of small pebbles tumbling down. What? Don Quixote, watch out! Whoa, whoa! What did you do, girl? Huh? Who are you?
and from behind the wall she accidentally broke down. An unfamiliar visage of a villager appeared and stared back at Don Quixote. It appeared that she was eating something out of a can while reading a book.
How fairest thou? Fairest thy foot, you gotta apologize first.
Lass seemed a tad too hyper today.
Apologies, for I hardly expected the wall to crumble with such ease. Art thou unhurt? Any injuries?
Two?
Two? Pray tell to what?
Forget the apology. I just want to know what happens next. The fixers of justice rose up to... do what?
Ooh! Ooh! Hast thou come to hear the tale of fixers?
I don't know about coming to us, given how Miss Don Quixote was the one who punched the wall down.
Oh, is it too late an hour? I don't mind waiting till morning if you want to sleep. Nay, not at all. 'Tis quite early an hour for tales, in fact. Prithee, seat thyself here.
You ungovernable fool. Calm down. We don't even know who she is. And don't you forget to share those fixer tales over there in the corner to not disturb our sleep.
Thou makest a request most untenable. These tales deserve to be announced to the world with great gusto from the center.
Yeah, that's the best way to hear those kinds of stories. But we should probably introduce ourselves to each other first. Name's Mayers. I'm... How should I put this? Ah, did you meet the village chief earlier during the day? He's my gramps. Oh, that nice guy? So we had a granddaughter? Yet, I've not seen you once, Miss Mayers, under the sun.
Oh my, you're right. I thought the village was completely dried of any young blood.
Like Rhodia said, while we didn't see Mayers out there, there wasn't anyone else in the village we could comfortably call young.
You're telling me.
Gramps was worrying over nothing and told me to stay put inside. Going on and on about the dangers that the outsiders pose and everything. It seems that they do not give full faith to their saviors. There are things you cannot share even with whom you trust with your life. Though, I would like to know why.
My. So there are a bunch of other kids who are stuck indoors in this village?
No.
There isn't anyone around my age in the village at all.
If that's the case, I guess I can understand why you'd be overprotective.
Anyways, it's our turn. We are... I'm good. I heard enough to get an idea.
You did? Ho?
Pray, how didst thou hear us? Via a listening device most secret upon our chamber?
Mayers tapped a side of the wall, part of it that was still standing anyway, and smiled ironically. Time for a mirror dungeon with a charge team? Mirror dungeon time, what? Oh, you're back home from being in the hospital a bit, Scrap. I'm glad that you're home and safe. Bad soundproofing. I can hear pretty much everything, Don Quixote, right? Everything Don Quixote practically sang during the day. I don't really do mirror dungeons much. You know, once I catch up with this and have exhausted all the content in the game, I think I will perhaps do some mirror dungeon runs. I haven't done them since way early in the game, before I took a big break, and then I started playing again while I was streaming. Like, I think it was still Yi-Sang's Kanto last time that I played. The last time I did a mirror dungeon. I could hear pretty much everything, Don Quixote, right? Everything Don Quixote practically sang during the day. Verily, I see. I think you could really do with some sense of embarrassment for once.
Well, I guess that's good enough for self-introductions. So, care to regale me with the tale of fixers who bring justice to the evils of the city? Indubitably. Then, this shall do. I shall regale thee with a tale in which the legendary fixer, the arch-magnificence herself, the Red Mist, hath...
Suppose that killed any hope for a good night's sleep. Good night's kip. Ooh, breaking out the slang. But, don't you usually pass out within a minute of your back hitting the hay, no matter how noisy things are? What? Do you take me for some kind of hibernating bear or something? Look, even I have trouble sleeping and there's noise all over. Sleep cliff. I'd say bear in hibernation is pretty apt descriptor. Do you perhaps have sleep apnea, Heathcliff? Do you need a CPAP? For all that grumbling and moaning, he dozed off before any of us did. Aside from Heathcliff, who began snoring the moment his head touched the ground, some other sinners were fast asleep as well. Merceau had entered sleep in his usual steadfast adherence to the routine, while Faust had laid claim to one of the few available cloth sheets as soon as the close of business for the day was confirmed. The sinners, who had spent the entire last night searching for me in this unfamiliar land, slowly began to fall asleep as well. Meanwhile, the fixer of the Zwei Association's first section. Though the night was no longer young, Don Quixote was still vigorously sharing tales of adventures without even a single sign of fatigue. She's not determined to do this until sunrise, is she? Oh! I guess it's okay, since Mayers seems to be having fun. As I continued to watch the pair with some mild concern, Amia, not yet asleep, approached me. This city Miss Don Quixote speaks of seems to be teeming with fixers of justice and exhilarating tales of adventures. Did you actually experience all of them yourselves? No, of course not. Don Quixote's stories are usually those of other famous people. But she's telling it with such vigor that it almost sounds like she was there herself. Well, I guess, if you really want to get into it, some of them might be retellings of Don Quixote's personal experiences. Ishmael replied uncertainly, thinking back to the plays we were made to watch back in La Mancha land. Well, I think all those stories, even though they're only partially true, Just go to show what a ridiculous place it can be. We wouldn't need fixers of justice to begin with if we really lived in a just world, right? A really good place to live would be quiet and peaceful without someone having to force it.
That's true. I hope there'll come a day when Rhodes Island can be a normal pharmaceutical company in the future.
Something wrong? No, I just thought Miss Mayers and I made eye contact. Did she overhear our conversation? I looked to her direction as well, but all I saw was Mayers excitedly reacting to Don Quixote's tales.
Whoa! What happened then? Thus spake Lady Otis boldly before the soldiers who stood in our path.
Thou presumest to stand in our path, servants of a master most unworthy. I, Otis, shall educate ye on how manner maketh. Don Quixote was now retelling the stories of Limbus Company's adventures in Hong Yuan, and Otis, who could no longer stand Don Quixote's unintentional alterations of the story, jumped to her feet and shouted, "Damn it! What kind of nonsense are you feeding her? I never said anything like that."
Verily, certain aspects of this retelling may have been exaggerated. That's tales of our adventures for you. That's tales of adventures for you. Things are bound to get a bit dry when the story is too realistic. And is told too realistically and as is, right? You know, nothing, not even anything resembling a proper record or a book remained once the profound silence swept through this village. The profound... What is the profound silence? No books, no records? So I've always had a craving for these kinds of stories. But Iberia doesn't stop Iberians from emigrating, contrary to their tight immigration control. Have you ever thought about leaving this place? It's still a challenge to cross the border, especially since we're going to have to pass through larger cities that are managed by the Inquisition.
You don't seem particularly fond of this Inquisition. Why is that?
That's because this village was formed by people who grew tired of living under the Inquisition's rule and fled.
Sorry, but what kind of organization is this Inquisition? You've experience with Inquisition-like forces. Sinclair asked, face turning cold upon hearing the word Inquisition, and that people fled from it. Yeah, the Nagel and Hammer we saw back at the call aren't the kind of memories that are easily forgotten. According to Dr. Calcit, the Inquisition is what filled the power vacuum once Iberia fell into chaos. That its inquisitors are the rapier and lamp-wielding protectors of Iberia's cities from lawlessness. That alone kind of makes them sound like good people, though. Yeah, they are, but there's the Church of the Deep. The Inquisition will go to whatever lengths to deal with the incidents related to the church that worships Seaborns. An organization that worships those monsters? Seems that cultish fanaticism is a plague wherever we go. I feel like people with all kinds of wrong faiths and beliefs are so common. See, the Seaborns are the ones that messed Iberia up. So, following their logic, apparently it's okay for them to arrest anyone who seems even remotely connected to them. Are you saying that Iberia is like this because of the Seaborns? Those things from earlier? I guess they were kind of troublesome to deal with, but they didn't seem that strong.
Anyways, it's just what I heard from Gramps, but the Inquisition executed many innocent people too in their crusade against the Church of the Deep. For those who proclaim to be on the side of justice, they seem quite fond of committing such villainy. It seems like a reasonable policy decision to me. But it must pose a clear danger to the daily lives of civilians. Yeah, I heard I was the only survivor. Everyone in my family died. Oh no! So it's just you and your grandpa now? Have a nice sleep, Key Nice. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you to everyone who's hanging out right now with me in the stream, helping me feel a bit less lonely.
You must have had to endure such a long period of pain. To be able to say something like that with such composure. For Iberia, they are heroes who will bring the land back to its glory days, but to Gramps, they were just oppressors making his life difficult. That's why we've all come here, fleeing from the Inquisition's gaze.
Yet, wherefore hast thou decided to settle at a place that is so, run down?
Indeed.
Yeah, I know. But it's not so bad once you get used to it. Besides, we managed to find a new path thanks to you guys.
A new path?
Well, it's getting late. Will you be repairing the ship tomorrow, too?
This place really has no soundproofing at all, huh?
Good talk, everyone. Hope we'll get another chance to do this tomorrow, too.
After seeing Mayers to our own room, the other sinners, who were still up anyway, and I laid ourselves on the hard stone floor with only a thin layer of cloth between it and our backs. A mysterious world that is neither the city nor the outskirts. But it seemed that the lives its people led were just as difficult as they were anywhere else.
I don't know. What connection led Mayers' family to be suspected of being affiliated with the Church of the Deep? And she said something about opening a new path. Oh, we have a battle? Vessel Masas.
Let's see. I want
다들
you.
연장 챙기죠.
연료는 잔뜩 준비해둬.
주먹으로 매는
전가요?
Anyone else?
언제든지요.
Bring the gloom. You.
손맛이 뭔지
제가
급행
퀘스트 현장 지휘자가 필요해.
길치의 교리에 따라 행할 뿐.
I need a sip of water. My voice is getting hoarse. It's so big. Look at this great big vessel.
Amazing. I didn't know there were remaining vessels of this class in Iberia.
Excuse me, clear my throat.
Hello, kitty cat. Kitty cat.
One of my kitty cats showed up.
It's the little man in black. Hello, little man in black. Wanna hop up on my lap? Hello? Nope, he's walking away. Haha, I espy her name here. It is called the Rebellion de las Masas.
Rebellion de las Masas? Revolt of the Masses, is it? A name very much mired in peculiarity indeed. Honglu chimed in that he was rather fond of it, with its size being about the same as the boat from his home. While Ishmael quickly jumped in to correct that its size alone wasn't anything special at the Great Lake, but it was still pretty big compared to our Mephi or the Indigo Elder's skiff. I thought it was going to be somewhere around Mephi's size at most. Are you sure you can get this ship fixed in a day or two? As I briefed you yesterday, the great majority of the time-consuming repairs had already been completed by the villagers. The extent of our repair efforts only concerns a few components within the vessel that the villagers could not repair, which shouldn't take us much time. Unless parts that are unfamiliar to Faust are also malfunctioning, such as the core engine, remaining repairs should be sufficiently managed by Faust. Despite Otis's confident declaration, I could not help but feel oddly unsettled as I look at the ship. I don't know why, but something tells me that we don't want to linger here for too long. Still, please be thorough about it, just in case. I'd rather not sit on a sinking ship again. The experience at the Great Lake was enough. Do not worry, Dante. Unlike Mephistopheles, most functions of this vessel, buoyancy gear, propellers, steering gear, are all in operational capacity. This repair should be much easier than the case with Mephistopheles. You seem confident enough. Should be safe this time around, right? Fish dragon, it's so big. That's what she said. Yeah, that's what she said. I was thinking it, but I felt it would be hacky to say it, but since you broke the floodgate. Are we taking that rope to climb up to the ship? No, there's a lift-like apparatus down here. It should take us up to the ship. Its stability was verified yesterday. Let us board the lift. You're 100% certain, right? The boat is afloat right now, Dante. I don't think it'll be sinking anytime soon. Wouldn't that be nice? Oi, are you two just gonna faff about down here? We're heading up now. No, we're going with you. As I made my way into the vessel's bridge. Oh, high tech. Beautiful. Look at this chandelier-like projection. I was greeted by the extravagant interior that was as gaudy as its exterior. This isn't real gold, is it? Sure is shiny as heck in here. I've got butterflies in my stomach. A.S. Aesthetically satisfying, she says. Finally something that pleases Ryoshu's tastes. But too ostentatious. Not quite my style. Our young Mephi is also quite the excellent vessel. Yet, imagine the adventures we could embark upon aboard this vessel lavishly decorated. As Faust and Otis were working on one of the control panels, Ishmael walked up to another and interfaced with it before giving a knowing nod. This must have been an investigative or research vessel of sorts, but it does seem a bit extravagant for one of those, though. Look, coordinates. Updating in real time, it seems. The coordinates seem to have been set to somewhere out in the middle of the ocean. Maybe it points to a small islet? Nope, no islet there. Ah! Mayors! Mayors has sneaky spy powers. But blimey, lass. You sure know how to sneak up on people. I do too. I walk very quietly. I had, family that was quite critical of noisy walking and learned how to walk so quietly that I often really, really scare people. Doesn't help that I have, like, no presence in a room if I'm not, like, trying to be noticed. Mayors? What? Did I actually surprise you? I did ask if you guys were gonna come fix the boat yesterday. Still, I didn't know you'd be in here. Why are the coordinates set to this location? There are several undersea cities beneath those coordinates, collectively known as Aegir. Gramps' home. I see. Understood. What was understood, if I may ask? It is now understood why the promise to repair this ship was sufficient to earn their trust and the title of saviors. It's where they're gonna go. What's she on about? Someone get translating. Consolidating and cross-referencing the observed particular circumstances of the village and the statements from the village chief, alongside information garnered from the exchange with mayors, it is possible to gauge the significance of this ship's repair has to the local populace. Of course, while this may constitute a sequence of logical connections that possess a certain challenge for Heathcliff to comprehend, to employ any degree of effort to attempt to explain it in more digestible language would constitute a pursuit of inefficiency. I'm not repeating myself. Lower the baton, I implore you! I shall explain it in full. I was wondering when Miss Smartass would start grabbing like that again. So what's she on about? Heathcliff's shoulders were relaxed. It didn't seem like he was actually going to swing the bat. He placed it lightly over his shoulder with a sigh. A brief observation of the village seemed to suggest that the subsistence situation was quite dire. Much of their daily sustenance consisted of dried food, most of them made for long-term storage purposes. Considering what Scotty said about how the coastal areas are full of danger, maybe those dried seafood aren't from around here either. Maybe it's food they packed when they first came to Faro Muerto. Some villagers were armed, yeah, and those sea terrors weren't exactly that formidable, but given the state the villagers are in, I doubt they'd have an easy time repelling those monsters. Indeed. And that brings us to the question of sustenance. Right, I get what's going on here. The lass and her granddad are about to visit their hometown, and they're trying to get some food supplies from there to feed the villagers, and to convince them they're planning to use the fact they're from the same neck of the woods. Or sea, I guess.
Oh, so we're not just repairing their ship, we're repairing their food supply plan, too. Huh? What's wrong?
It's, While the expressions were rather crude, Heathcliff's summary of the situation was clear, to the point, and easily understood. The sinner stared at him with mild surprise. And I did, too. What's with them annoying looks? Wait. Oh, you sods. You don't think I'm that dim-witted, do you? Top-notch intuition. It's just that it's been a while since you've shown this side of yourself. Thinking back, Heathcliff's intuition's always been excellent, and he'd often put together surprisingly accurate conclusions with impressive speed. You know, when you really think about it, it's kind of your fault for... Huh? I've been too soft on you lately, haven't I? Oi, get back here! Now with those fools out of the conversation, was he correct? Otis looked away from the usual chaos and asked Mayers.
Honestly, I'm surprised. He was on point.
Yeah, food's been running low in the village. At this rate, we won't last another year. But the Aegir will. I'm sure they'll welcome us with open arms. I don't want to come off like I'm overly worried, but do you think they'll welcome the others too? Unlike Mayors or Chief, they're not Aegir.
I believe they will. Iberia suspects and hates the Aegir for no other reason that we're from the sea, but our home cannot have fallen so low as to abandon a group of starving land dwellers. Prithee, might thou explain to us who the Aegir are?
I had initially thought it to be a reference to a region, yet it also seems to refer to an affiliation of sorts. Maybe there's something like nest dwellers? Though I don't think I've heard of a nest that accepts Backstreet's people with open arms.
Or maybe they used to be some rich folk?
They call them nest tops Aegir here. Then does that make the rabbit-eared lass Aegir too?
Huh? Wait, in the world you came from, do they not distinguish between races?
That is not entirely true. Delineation between races is a concept that does exist. Though I only saw them in the Fathoms, there were those terrifying things called the cuckoo spawns. However, as a general rule, it can be said that humans should be the only intelligent life forms in this. Humans should be the only intelligent life forms in the city.
The people of Terra have slight varying appearances depending on their race, like my cautus ears. And I've got pointed ears because I'm an Aegir, though it's not a characteristic every Aegir shares. The closest idea to what they are discussing appears to be, Don Quixote seemed to be struggling to finish her sentence. Merceau stepped in to continue. By context clues and the manner of word usage, including the means of classification, the closest example in our world would be blood fiends.
Similar external appearances to humans, different natures, comparable sapience.
'Tis of my belief that blood fiends are ostracized due to their nature that maketh coexistence with humans difficult. It may be that Aiger are also... I'm sure some of them do possess qualities that make coexistence with others difficult, but they're probably rare. Then wherefore are they made subjects of suspicion and hatred? That's...
Well, the language is new, but the idea itself is pretty familiar to the city folks like us. Think of feathers of fallen wings, kids born in the back streets, people who replace their body parts with prosthetics. The form differs, yet in its essence we find the thread. Something about how we keep finding these similarities in the ways of our lives, despite finding ourselves in a distant world with different rules, races, and humans. Felt oddly discomforting.
The point is, you guys are doing us a real solid by fixing up the ship. Let's move on from these gloomy conversations, okay? I want to show you the cooler parts of this ship. This way.
The ship tour may have to wait. The repairs are almost completed, but an issue has arisen.
Issue?
Oh, wow, that's not reassuring at all.
Multiple life forms identified ahead, assumed to be a sea terror horde.
The ship's radar system seems to suggest that the vessel is surrounded. They're the same monsters from yesterday. Executive Manager, please order us to prepare for battle. Damn it. Are they the sea terrors you encountered? They look a bit different, but... yeah, probably.
There's a lot of them, but if our last experience tells us anything, we should be able to handle this.
Amiya, please support us in battle like you did yesterday.
Canst thou fight, young mayors? I feel like I'm just gonna get in your way.
Then, guys, find a place to keep Mayors as far as possible from the battle. Let's hurry down there. We don't want them damaging the ship any further.
Woo! Battle time! I've been itching for a fight.
최선을
Oh,
다해보지.
doggies?
아니, 방금 벌레 말은 듣지
Shell
않다는 사람
Sea
누구야?
Runner. They just inflict sinking. They don't have the weird 33% HP thing. We have just one wave, 20 enemies! Holy moly, 20 enemies. Let's go. Also Void, straight up chickens in the dungeon. Chickens chicken. What? Chickens in the dungeon? I'm confused. 17. Power for burn on target. Burn away every last... Get a little sloth resonance damage by missing HP. Only 78 HP. You got it.
고작 터뜨려주지.
Okay, let's see how everyone does. Come on, cook us a shell doggy. Staggering. Nice.
아까처럼만 해. 그럼 이번 전투도 쉽게 갈 수 있을 거야.
This music is sick.
무지하니까. 엄청난 공격이었어.
I would like some spicy fried chicken.
개체에게 일격을 가하는데 성공했습니다.
Okay.
샴페인을
Gain
가져오기엔
appetite.
너무 이른 타이밍이긴
You're gonna stagger
하겠지만
them.
이 전투가
Burn away every
성공적으로
last
끝나면
drop. That will
모두의 희생을
probably
기리며
get the
축배를
kill.
드는 것도 나쁘지 않겠죠.
Grace of knowledge. Weight of knowledge. Target has 5 rupture. You can just go ahead and hit them. And no, actually, let's go.
직접 알게 함이라.
Man, I'm getting really hungry. I might want to get some spicy chicken.
다시 복구하긴 힘들까요? 완전히
적에게 치명상을 입게 만드는 거야. 관리자는 당신이 생각하는 것보다 대단한 능력을 갖추고 있다고. 제가 늘 말씀드렸죠. 저는 언제나 옳은 말만 한다는 거.
Doggy's dead. What is their defense like?
다들 기세등등하네요. 지금 공격해보는 건 어떨까요,
46. That's pretty
관리자님?
bad. Weak. Doesn't have any endures. Interesting. Only weaknesses. You have gems at your center too? Looks like it. Okay. Flamethrow and burn every last drop. Fuel's looking good. Seal shut. If discarded. Risky judgment. We might just go for all bottom row. This isn't a problem for us right now. Inflict sinking count. Studying. Illuminate vacuity. Decay blade.
적출할게요.
So on my trip, I saw lots of nice reptiles. I saw lots of little wall lizards that ran all over the place, and I saw a baby
효율적인
tortoise.
대처로 개체를
Maybe not
해드렸습니다.
quite a baby, but a very young one.
기계는 입에 발린 말을
About
빼주기는 쉽게 하지 않아요.
the size of a pita bread in diameter. I know that type of tortoise that I saw gets much bigger. You're gonna Fire Fist, Fuel 40. There.
오작 터뜨려주지.
좋아, 계속 집중하지.
적확한 하나비였어.
완벽한 한방. 시원한걸?
파세 완료.
쓸만해져. 방금
We
전에는
have only 4 more.
굉장했다고.
Only 4 more.
베르의 그 인간도 이건 인정할걸?
Seal shut. I think we have enough sanity and momentum to just take care of these guys right now. Any multi-target things I want to do? No. PC prepare Chimkin.
이 또한 지식이 되도록.
Oh, and I was worried. The Smoky Sticker Club is a thing. Do you know that I sell on Ko-fi? They're not live right now. I put them back on the shop. I took them down because I was on vacation. I sell hand-curated packets of stickers and stationery. Oh, kill him! Yes!
불타버렸나?
Things that I've personally picked out for only like $10 US on Ko-fi, and I ship them to you? That's a thing. Keep an eye out on my
이
Ko-fi.
정도는
Link
보수도
below.
짭짤하겠는데? 다들 땅고기 외식이나 할까요?
I'm gonna have to put them live again. Okay, small tide. Let's do one more battle.
DH의 교리에 따라 행할 뿐.
Let's do one more battle.
먼저
오,
끝내고
this
돌아오는
one's pretty.
친구는 맛있는 거 사줄게. 물론 회사 카드로.
Okay. Clashable counter. Not good. Reap nutrients. Unopposed. Burn every last drop. Seal shut. Moment of erudition. Weight of knowledge. Decay blade is decay blade. Let's save that.
오작 터뜨려주지.
The current sticker club is a packet of
아까처럼만 해. 이번 전투도
엄청난
쉽게 갈 수 있어요.
공격이었어. 기념할 만한걸?
is a packet of Wild West themed stickers. We've got sticker sheets that are covered in like coyotes and roadrunners and flowers. There's a really unique one that's like a desert tableau. Desert tableau inside a snow globe. I really love stickers and stationery. That's why I love sharing it with people.
적에게 치명상을 입히는
I lose money on it.
당신이
I lose money on it so hard. The value of the sticker packet is like $30,
저는
but I only
언제나
charge
옳은 말만
$10.
한답니다.
Okay. It is in an open state. Frenzy. Okay. Flicked sinking. That. Frenzy. What's your fuel looking like? 65? You're good. Just didn't need to do that. Buying next turn will not be necessary. Let's go.
언제까지 버티나 보자고.
깨달았나? 완벽한 한방. 시원한 걸.
Oh man, I am so tired. Because I was traveling and I got home late last night, I got fast food and got something caffeinated to drink. But that kept me up way late, and now I'm really
머리 좋다
tired.
탄테. 방금 완전 좋았어.
얼얼하지? 정신 못 차릴 거야.
Alright, kill the clam dog.
방금 전에는 굉장했다고.
Okay, do we have any
배그의 그
AoE
인간도
stuff?
이건 인정할 걸?
Let's see who's against who. Weight of knowledge. Weight of knowledge. Flamethrow. Consume 15. Consume 15 and top off. You can do that. Will probably finish them. That's good. That's also good. You've only got to spend knowledge right now anyway. Impede the intruder. Inflict tremor. We got study hall. Deaf down on dog is not necessary. We can honestly just keep it stupid simple.
직접 알게 한다.
이외에 특별히 촬영할 일도 없군.
We're getting so much of the stacking stats, but I think we're
꽤 먹혀들 것 같아요.
Flash is good.
파괴 완료. 이제 쓸만해졌군.
엄청난 공격이었어요.
14 of
어떻게
20.
저렇게 강하실 수 있죠?
What am I missing for Rhyme Shank? Gloom. $45 sanity. I believe in you, Greg. Actually, what do you have on you? Do you have any tremor at all? Nope, I don't see tremor. Let's hit it with paralyze. Spend knowledge. Erudition, study hall, scorch knowledge. That'll give us our gloom. Weight of knowledge, and there.
오작 터뜨려주지.
파괴 완료.
Excellent kill.
유효타 좋아. 계속 집중하지.
얼얼하지?
남기는 말은 없겠지.
Come on, 5 HP.
이봐, 버틸 자신 있어?
훌륭한 제압 성과를 낸 직원이 있군요.
이제 끝내지.
효율적인 결과를 위해서 이쯤에서 관리자님이 칭찬의 말을 건네줘도 좋을 것 같네요.
Okay, how many clam dogs are left?
진심까지 담길
How many
필요는
clam
없습니다.
dogs?
지식을
Gem
관리자님,
Clam dogs with gem
저는
nemesis.
생각하지 못하는 방법을
we got him.
떠올리시는군요.
The remaining entities have all returned to the sea. Is everyone okay?
It was just like our last skirmish. Sea terrors that had surrounded the ship returned to the sea even before the battle came to an end. And their retreat felt too orderly and deliberate to be just running away. It's almost like they're making a tactical retreat.
We're doing peachy, but what about the ship? Bao, is the ship okay?
Minor damages to the hull, but nothing that will impede the ship's operational capabilities.
Whew.
So, I noticed during the battle, I might be wrong of course, but I think I noticed how around the end of the battle, those monsters were starting to go after the manager? Oh no. You're probably right, actually. I noticed too. At some point during our battle, those monsters realized that it's the manager who's commanding the rest of us. I sensed the very same. Their movements were fluid and adaptive, as though they were learning our behavior. Why does the Church of the Deep worship monsters like them? That ain't much of a question, innit? They must have all gone mental.
I'm sure they have many reasons, but Seaborns are beings of infinite potential. So much that there's no superlative big enough to properly convey the scale. As organisms, they can endlessly evolve and adapt. Every time they encounter a new environment or a new element, they transform themselves in other Seaborns. Maybe that's their draw.
That fascination may be an attitude most befitting a researcher, yet the transformation of fascination into idolatry is, if I may be frank, not entirely positive. I find them pretty uncomfortable. They just remind me of whales. Then, can they adapt to learn a language to communicate with us? Well, what? Going by everything we heard, I think they sound really smart. Mayer's eyes went round at Honglu's suggestion. She brought her hands to her mouth, surprised. It sure was something. I heard that there was a Seaborn who could talk. If non-humans speak the language of humans, regardless of its testament to their intelligence, I can only think of two possibilities as to why they would. One, to communicate with humans. The other, to deceive humans. More often than not, it's the latter. What about distortions? Some of them already know how to speak. Distortions are phenomena in which humans transform into monstrous forms, first observed after the White Knights and Dark Days incident. Therefore, that example is irrelevant to Otis's supposition. White Knights and Dark Days, she whispered quietly, but as we were standing rather close to her, we all caught on to the hint of joy in her voice. The pillar of light in the city, did it really? How have you come across this knowledge, Miss Mayers? Oh, that's... Ain't it obvious? We've got the culprit right here, the storyteller lass who's been gabbing on with no end.
Yeah, she's been talking non-stop all morning about all kinds of stories, hasn't she?
Oh?
Yet I have not gotten to that fact.
You again. You didn't get so lost in your own stories that you blabbered all about our company's secrets, have you? Tree, I would simply not. As Don Quixote was subject to yet another round of scolding, Amia stared out toward the sea, wary that sea terrors might start crawling to the surface once again before turning towards us. I wonder which of the two the Seaborns are. Their sense of self is really, really faint, so I don't think they'd be in either category. I think it's possible that they learned human language out of instinct, that the power of speech might help them survive. It appears that you, Miss Mayers, are quite the expert on the subject of Seaborns. Your knowledge of them goes beyond what fear for one's survival may yield, thereby suggesting a different means of acquisition. Do you by chance worship the Seaborns? I don't worship Seaborns. Seaborns don't have any hopes or wishes, just desire for survival. Miss Mayers, does that mean if Seaborns were somehow able to hope? Maybe so. Is that so? Their repairs are complete. As we were conversing, Faust descended from the ship with a neatly organized set of tools borrowed from the village. Repairs completed. I'm guessing repairs are done? Yes, the ship is ready to set sail. Did you have a departure time and date in mind? I would prefer if we could depart as soon as possible. We don't have a set time or anything, but I think we should be able to set sail this late afternoon at the earliest. That soon? As you've seen, we don't have a lot to bring with us. By the way, how far out to the sea do you guys need to go? We need to find this dimensional door of sorts. I could see the dimensional door's light from the beach at night. It was faint, but given how the light's strong enough to break through the sea fog, we should be able to determine its location somewhere around the coastal waters. So we can go back tonight. The first order of business is to relay this news to the villagers. Yeah, back to the village for now. Excellent! Oh my gosh, we can see the light of the portal? That means it'll be pretty easy to get to, right? Will we have to go into the portal?
돌아와서 모조리 불태울
Got more
거라고 했잖아.
gems. Oh no, an inquisitor. Let's spend our gems really quick. I can get 5 more of those. What are we aiming for? Finishing the whole event in one stream? Oh heck no, my voice is so hoarse. I'm gonna have to take a break. I've made it through like 1/3, assuming there's a... I've made it through a chunk of it, assuming there's a dungeon. 5 of 14. It'll have to be cut up into 2 streams or more. I've not been streaming for a while, so my voice is not well exercised. Oh my gosh. I want to just exchange all of these. Time for some pulls. It's time to extract, everyone. Okay. On Brilliant Glory. Let's do all of our single extractions first. Get these out of the way. Click, 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 click. Gambling time, gambling time. Click, 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 click. There's a tiny but bare but existent chance. Okay. What is it? Oh, we already have that. I'm doing this because I want to save the 10 pulls for last. You save the best for last. That's like eating, it's like your dessert. Why would I go for the immediate satisfaction? You need delayed satisfaction. Maybe that's why I'm immune to spending money on this game, but I don't go immediately for the immediate dopamine rush. Oh? Yes. It's all egos, there's no IDs, so I should know by now that's not gonna be something. Oh? Another ID? How is the 2 talisman Sinclairs? What are the odds? Why must I do single pulls? Because I'm the sadist. I am a sadist and a tease. We're almost done with single pulls. Another ID. Nothing I don't already have.
on, show me that streamer luck. Oh? Nothing. I just never noticed that it does that winding up thing. Thought it was something special. Okay, last single pull. Okay, time to extract. 10 pull time. Limbus Company, I love you. Limbus Company, it's time to choo-choo. Oh. Which one did I? What did I?
병 소리나 하고 있으라니.
Oh! W Corp Ryoshu. I didn't have her before. That's new for me. Oh my gosh, yay! That's pretty great. I can build my W Corp another Ryoshu. We got 2 Ryoshu
이렇게 무전하면 안 된다고?
identities?
주려 말하지 마라. 왜? 신참이라서.
I actually didn't know this identity existed. Okay. Wow. Okay. Let's do a couple of these. Da 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 da. Oh. What's this? Blue.
아득한 야정. 멈추지 않는 시대에서
Yeah, streamer
희망과
luck.
미래를 찾아. 스스로
Yay! I just punched the microphone in excitement. I got the command meltdown Faust. How does this one work again? Oh. Let's do one more extraction. Do 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 do. Looks like I've expended my streamer luck for the day. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. Ah! Ah! Show me. Show me. How does command meltdown work? Oh, final power +1. This is good for our rupture team. And I can thread spin it now. Gain 4 hardened shell barrier. Def level up. And it heals. Holy shit. Heals HP, heals SP. This is great. I'm thread spinning this right away. Oh my gosh. New passive, Doctor. Completely unlock it. Alright. We're a bit low on thread, but passives, Doctor. Heal self and one ally with the lowest HP. Excellent, excellent, and it's green, my favorite color. All right, we're gonna have to take that out for a spin next time. Let's see. But of course, I'm a competent beef noodles. Here's my manager number in case anyone wants to be friends. And woo, my voice is tore up and I am really hungry. Thank you everyone for keeping me company. I think I'll finish the event next time. I always stream Limbus on Saturdays. Limbus Saturdays, everyone. I thank you everyone for keeping me company.
옛날부터 3시간 이상의 수면을
I am actually
취하면
really enjoying
저절로
this.
눈이
It's
떠지곤 했어요.
kind of refreshing seeing a peek
자연스러운
of another
현상인 줄
world. It is
알았는데
making me
모든 분들이 그렇진
curious about
않더군요.
Arknights. Do we have any Arknights players in the chat? And no matter where you are, in time and space, I bid you peace and glub. Peace and glub, everyone. Bye bye.